Hi, privacy people, and big welcome back to the Privacy PowerUp series. I'm Lindsay Palmer, Privacy Knowledge Principal at TrustArc. Thanks for joining me today as we dive into a really important topic, vendor management. First up, let's get our terms straight. When companies outsource, they're essentially delegating data processing tasks to third-party vendors. We often call these vendors processors because they specialize in these services. This is smart. It lets the company focus on what they do best, often saving time and money in the process. So what's vendor management? It's the whole system organizations use to manage these processors. This includes everything from picking the right vendor, setting up a solid contract, to constantly evaluating and reducing any risks they might bring. It's all about preventing supply chain disruptions and protecting data. Now, most data protection laws, including many U.S. state consumer privacy acts, allow organizations, known as controllers, to share personal data with a processor. But there's a catch. This is usually only permitted if there's a binding data processing agreement, or DPA, in place. This contract is crucial. It spells out the obligations and rights for both sides and details exactly what processing is being outsourced. And it doesn't stop there. Both controllers and processors can engage other organizations. A data controller can hire a processor, and that processor, they can hire another organization called a sub-processor to help them fulfill their contract with the original controller. It gets interesting because many organizations can actually be both a controller and a processor, especially in B2B or business-to-business relationships. Think about a wholesaler and an online retailer, or a manufacturer and its parts suppliers. An organization might even process the same personal data in both roles, but for different processing activities. The key takeaway? You can't be both a controller and a processor for the exact same data processing activity. It's vital for organizations to figure out which hat they're wearing for each activity, as each role comes with unique responsibilities and legal liabilities. And here's a critical point. Organizations cannot outsource accountability. Even if you hire a processor, say your company uses a third-party payroll service, your organization remains accountable for complying with data protection laws and for ensuring your chosen processor complies too. Why? Because as a controller, you're the one instructing the vendor and providing the data. Processors, on the other hand, are liable for their own compliance and can be liable to the controller if they breach the contract or if a sub-processor they hired causes a breach. So how do you manage these vendors effectively? It all starts with due diligence during the procurement phase, when you're deciding which processor to hire. Your selection criteria should be built right into your procedures. Let's break down what to look for. Expertise and capacity. Will they add value? Do they have specialized skills you lack? And critically, do they have enough resources, people and tech, to do the job even in an emergency? Location. Are they domestic or foreign? If foreign, does their jurisdiction offer adequate data protection? What about government access to data? And how easy would on-site inspections be? Market reputation. What's their reputation like? Are they used by other privacy-conscious organizations? If they're well known, what's the general public perception? History of data breaches. Any past incidents? If so, what caused them? Was it negligence, human error, or cost-cutting? How did they respond? And most importantly, have they fixed the underlying issues? Regulatory history. Any investigations or fines? Did they resolve these issues? Are they in good standing with regulators, especially the ones overseeing your organization? Employee retention. High employee turnover can be a red flag, potentially heightening risks to data confidentiality. Customer satisfaction. What do their other clients say? Can they meet service requirements and data protection standards? Any negative reviews or public complaints? Privacy focus. Do they have a dedicated privacy program, a data protection officer or similar? Clear processes for handling privacy matters? And in today's tech landscape, you absolutely need to know if your processor uses artificial intelligence. If they do, how does their AI impact the processing of your personal information? Consider these points. Is your data used to train their AI model? Is their AI model compliant with relevant laws? Is the AI processing monitored for bias and unintended outcomes? Are humans involved in decision making, or is it fully automated? And is the processor transparent with you and data subjects about its AI use? Once you've selected your processor, it's contract time. You need an outsourcing contract or other legal agreement that binds them to your organization and clearly defines the services. Different data protection laws have varying requirements for what must be in the contract, but key clauses typically include the purpose of the data processing, the type of data being processed, clear data processing instructions, the duration of their data processing rights, and the obligations of both parties. Okay, you've chosen your processor. The contract is signed. Job done, right? Not quite. You must monitor and audit their processing activities. This is often sidelined. You figure you did your due diligence, the contract's in place, so what's the harm? But here's the reality. Data collection, processing, and technology are always evolving. Your processor's activities might change too, and you are responsible for ensuring this stays compliant with the contract and data protection rules. Trust me, regulators won't be shy about holding you responsible for your processor's privacy and security violations. So who handles this monitoring? It could be the business unit, procurement, or your business continuity team. A common tool is sending questionnaires to your processors, requiring them to confirm they have the right measures in place. Not all processors need the same level of scrutiny. Take a risk-based approach. Those posing the greatest risk may be due to the type or volume of data, their location, or past compliance issues should be monitored more closely and more often. Audits should be direct, focused on the specific services they provide for you. The scope might change over time based on the nature of the processing, the type of data, how critical the service is, and the overall risk. A key thing to note in every audit, have there been any changes in their processing since the last assessment? You can even create a library of question sets tailored to different processors based on their risk level. This makes future audits much easier. I know that was a lot, but I truly hope you found this information useful. Following vendor management steps from careful selection and strong contracts to ongoing monitoring will put your organization in a much better position. It's all about ensuring accountability to your customers and to regulators. That's all for this segment of the Privacy PowerUp series. If you haven't already, go back and watch the previous videos in the series that cover these topics. Assess the risk before it hits, contracts that count, and sell, share, or beware. Next up to help you power up is Tracking Technologies Untangled. Thanks so much for watching.